Hello, friends.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting edition of A Beautiful Adventure Marriage, the official marriage ministry of Cornerstone Church. We're your hosts, Tara and Alex Payne, and at A Beautiful Adventure, we want to shine a positive light on marriage through biblical truths and positive resources. For all things A Beautiful Adventure, you can go to our website, that is www.abeautifuladventuremarriage.com. There you'll find links to all of our blogs, videos, ways to give, and ways to purchase our brand new book. Here at A Beautiful Adventure Marriage, we believe that marriage is God's idea, it is a good idea, and it can be a beautiful adventure. So let's go.
Let's go. So tonight, guys, we are starting part one of a two-part series all about communication. Now, if you have been married for more than like a minute, you know how important and yet difficult communication can be.
Yes,
especially, I mean, with everybody, but especially with husband and wife.
Well, and it's almost like men and women were created differently.
Almost like that.
And it's almost as if every person has their own individual style of communication.
It is almost like that. In fact, it is like that.
that it would seem that each person would have their own personality,
right?
Their own characteristics,
Yes.
their own way of existing, culture, nurture, nature.
Yeah, experiences,
experiences and upbringings and so many things.
So many variables.
Variables, yeah, that dictate the way that you communicate with somebody.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it so difficult. Like you brought up some great points. Men and women are different.
Yes.
Which means they communicate differently.
Yes.
We each have different personalities. We have different experiences that we have brought into this marriage. We have different baggage that we brought into this marriage. And then on top of that, I mean, there's all those variables, but then we communicate different if we're hungry. We communicate different if we're tired, if we're not feeling well, right?
Listen, I have always said that that Jesus, when he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, that Satan waited until he needed a Snickers to tempt him.
Absolutely he did.
Like, he waited until Jesus was hungry because he thought maybe Jesus would talk to him a little differently.
Right.
Thankfully, we know the outcome of that story. Yeah. Get thee behind me, Satan, that whole thing.
But we're not Jesus.
But the devil will come at you when you're hungry.
Oh, God, yeah, he will.
Because he knows you'll throw a pity party like that.
Hangry is a thing.
Oh.
It is a very important. We should probably do a marriage blog just on that.
Just on hangry.
Just on being hangry, right? Because that is a definite thing. But no, I mean, there are so many different variables that go into communication. So when you put two people in a house and expect them to do life together, communication is a big deal.
Yes.
You know, and there have been times that Alex and I have gotten it right, but there have been way more times than that we have gotten it wrong. Like, it's such trial and error, and I'm so thankful for marriage resources.
Yes.
Because you learn so much about communication. I'm so thankful for mentors and friends that have spoken life into us and given us tips on communicating. And that's kind of what we want to pass on tonight is you can never get perfect at communicating.
Yes. So one thing that I would encourage you to do, take the resources that we're putting in your hands and make them your own. The way that I communicate with Tara and the way that Tara communicates with me is not going to be the way that you communicate with your spouse perfectly to the letter. There is no rigid, hard set, I can only do it this way.
Right.
Now, there are certain things that you should not say.
Right.
But if you try to communicate with your spouse, I found out not long ago that it infuriates Tara if I say, okay, go get me this. She wants to know, and then what?
Right. Tell me the outline.
Yeah, like she wants bullet points, like what are we doing? What's the end goal? What's this going to look like when you get these two wires connected?
Right.
Like, she wants to know all of that. And I am a step by step, like, okay.
Finish step one.
Go get me this. Run along, go get me this. Then come back and I'll tell you what step 2 is.
I laugh because this is like has been such a point of conflict for us in communicating.
Yes.
And like the reverse, because I'm like, all right, Alex, I need you to do A, B, C, D, E, and you're like, whoa.
Write it down.
No, like what's A?
Yeah.
Stop.
Let me process A.
Right.
And then once I have completed A,
we'll move to B.
I will move to B.
But see, right there is a perfect practical example of we were communicating wildly differently.
Yes.
And it was not jiving at all.
No.
Like, not at all.
So take a tip from us. Learn these resources, know them, and then work it to how your spouse receives the best.
Absolutely.
And learn that the way that you receive it is not the way that she receives it.
And that's
and
okay.
vice versa. And that's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine. I've had to work on it.
Me too.
And she's had to work on it. And, in the same examples to where I won't ask her to do step 1 until I have thought out what steps 2 and 3 are. So that way I can say, okay, go get this and then bring it to me, put it in my left hand and watch me as I turn this. Okay. Or whatever it is.
But see, I like that because then I know, okay.
Yeah, she's involved in the process.
Yeah, let's do this.
So, communication, we are going to give you guys a resource tonight.
Yes.
It is by Selena and Kyle Fredrickson.
Yeah, great couple, great marriage ministry.
Yes. The name of their book is See Through Marriage. Ryan and Selena Fredrickson also have one of our favorite marriage devotionals, Husband in Pursuit, Wife in Pursuit. We recommend it to everybody.
Fantastic.
So for this information, go to our blog, check out their book, buy their book, support their marriage ministry.
Yes.
Learn all of the things. See Through Marriage is where a lot of this stuff comes from tonight.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is a 2-part series. Tonight we're going to talk about one aspect of communicating, and then on our next video we're diving in a little bit deeper with it. So let's get started. So first of all, I think we've kind of laughingly established our point. Communication is hard. And yes, we can laugh about it, but there are sometimes that it's not funny. Because you're trying to communicate with your spouse, you're trying your best to connect, and you think you're doing a good job because you're communicating in a way that you understand, but it's just hitting a wall. And that can be extremely frustrating, and we've had those moments that have been extremely frustrating. But in the blog tonight, we're going to talk about 3 ways, just really surface, easy steps, easy ways that you can start communicating better. And one of them we're really going to hunker down on, and then I encourage you to go to the blog and read the other 2. But the first one we're going to talk about tonight is timing. And timing is so critical. Yes. Like, I am going to go first. I'm extremely guilty of, if there's something on my mind, if there's something that I want to talk to Alex about, I want to talk to Alex about it. So if he's at work, I want to talk to him right then. If he's asleep, I want him to wake up so I can talk to him right then. And that's not always a good thing.
You have even admittedly, I'm in customer service. I talk to people for 10 hours a day. Tara has been guilty of saving her words and only communicating with people at work or her clients or whatever as necessary.
Yes.
I think is a good way to put it.
It's my little word reservatory.
And then I'll come through the doors in the afternoon and she will word vomit.
Yes.
And in that moment, it's like really overwhelming.
Right.
So she has learned in that situation that right when I walk through the door is not the moment to unload something, even if it's wonderful.
Yeah, or important.
Yeah. Give me a second. Let's sit down and kind of just breathe the day off. Decompress for a moment. Let me get out the correct box. Exactly. And let's hash it out. Let's have a communication. Let's talk about it. And like I said, we've learned through wrong timing.
Right, absolutely. I definitely am guilty of that. In fact, in the blog, I put, stay away from these times, because these are all times that either I have tried to communicate with Alex or Alex has tried to communicate with me, and it just hasn't gone well. And what I put was, when they first wake up, I get up 2 hours before Alex does every morning. So I've had 2 hours to think and read and process. So by the time he gets up, I have words. Like, there are things that I want to share with him that Jesus showed me. There are things that I read that I want to share with him. Maybe I had a thought about supper that I want to talk to him about. Like, I have all kind of things stored up.
She does.
I have literally walked into our bedroom when I've heard his alarm go off and, like, plopped down on the side of the bed and be like, hey, morning. And he's still, like, not even, like, saying whole words yet, much less communicating. And I'm like,
She's lucky to get a grunt.
Right, I've got to tell you all this stuff. Well, guess what? I walk away frustrated because first of all, he's asleep, but I'm bombarding him, right? So first one, not when they first wake up. Right when they walk in the door. Alex just said when he first walks in the door, he needs a minute. If they're overwhelmed or have a lot on their mind, this particular week for us would not be a good time to have like a really hard conversation. We are slammed. Like, this week is
both of us, and
busy.
There are times in life where you are busy, and listen, if something arises in those moments, in those overwhelmingly just busy seasons, because we all have them. There's baseball season with your kids, there's soccer practice, there's doing the grocery, there's doing the laundry, there's cooking dinner. There are all of these things that vie for our time and our attention. So you're never going to be not completely busy.
That's true.
But in those moments, maybe shoot a text that says, hey, can we have a discussion after work? And that will prepare your spouse one way or the other. Yes. They'll kind of be thinking about the conversation. You can let them know, hey, nobody's dead.
Yeah, this is what I need to talk about.
We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's set aside some time. And in that, honor that. Honor that request from your spouse. If you're too busy to set aside 20 to 30 minutes to have a tough conversation, you're too busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't ignore the conversations. Set aside a time for them.
Right, yeah, we're not saying not have them.
Yes.
But plan. And I would make a suggestion to Alex's point of, if you have to have that conversation, don't just text or call your spouse and goes, we need to talk. No, I'm not going to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, God, that is the worst.
That's the worst. Like, you're going to have them so freaked out, or at least I would be.
Yeah, I'll just stop everything and call you later.
I would be so freaked out. But if I text Alex and said, hey, we need to talk about our finances tonight real quick, or hey, we need to talk about this ministry that we're doing real quick tonight. Give them just a little snippet, just so they know. Because not knowing drives me insane.
Yes.
And it does you too, I know.
And yes. So have those moments. Set aside time to have conversations with your spouse. Like I said, we're always going to be busy. There are so many things vying for our attention and our time. But you need to make the time to do this and plan it so that you can have conversations and have meaningful conversations with each other. The next thing is that we need to not do it if we're tired or hungry. Yeah. Like that spoke to my soul.
Yes. A friend of mine actually has a saying that if you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, halt. So it's an acronym, HALT, HALT, if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And try to fix those situations first and then proceed.
Because a lot of life's dramatic moments can be fixed with a cookie.
We joked about it earlier, but Alex and I both have come to a point in our marriage where I can look at him and say, Alex, I'm hungry and I'm getting angry. Can we fix this problem first and then let's talk? And he's got where he says the same thing to me, and we honor that. Like, I'm getting very upset because I'm hungry, or I'm getting very overwhelmed because I'm tired. Can we sleep on this tonight? And that, everyone goes back to the Bible verse that says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. It doesn't mean that you can't sleep until everything is resolved. That's not what it's saying. When it's talking about anger in that verse, it means brooding. It means resentful feelings. It means just bitterness, right? It's okay to disagree or need to have a hard conversation and say, I need to sleep first. Let's, like you said, let's plan it. In the morning, let's wake up 30 minutes early and let's knock this out. So definitely, if you are tired or hungry, please take care of that first.
Yeah. And, try to plan out conversations, I guess. One thing that we do that I'm going to use this term loosely, so don't roll your eyes too hard at me.
Okay.
But I enjoy is us waking up on Friday mornings and going through our finances. Mm-hmm. I don't like waking up an extra hour early. I don't enjoy that aspect of it. But it's a time that we have where we see, okay, where are we this week? Where are our finances? What bills we got to pay? What we got to give? What do we got to this? What do we this?
We kind of end up going through our calendar. I've noticed during that time. It didn't start out that way, but now it's like, all right, what's lined up for this week?
Well, with our finances, we've gotten it more fine-tuned, so we can just kind of go through it really quick. And then, like you said, it's turned into more meaningful conversations during the tail end of it. But we planned that time. That's not a time that just organically happened and Alex just decided to wake up an hour early, and that ain't happening.
I have to drag this man out of bed on Friday mornings, and that's okay.
She'll come in there and grab me by the foot and pull my ankle just a little bit and say, hey, it's time to go talk about finances. And I'm usually like, I don't want to.
I said to say, usually I roll over and go, hey, it's money day. That's what I call it.
It's money day.
It's money day. And this is what I usually hear. So I will get up, go downstairs, make coffee, call him again. Hey, babe. Are you awake?
The call is, in fact, coming from in the house.
Yes, it is. I don't walk back up those steps.
So, anyways, plan for it. Make time to have meaningful conversations. Yes. And we have a couple of other things in the blog. Turning off distractions.
Oh, goodness.
Don't go into a good conversation distracted.
Oh, yes. Make eye contact, for goodness sake.
And the last one is be generous. Be kind to each other during these conversations. Consider the fact that it is important to at least one of you to be talking about this.
Absolutely. And like Alex said, going back to our Money Friday, our money conversations, I got tongue-tied. They're not fun.
No.
This isn't like going on a date or going on a vacation. You may not be arguing during some of these conversations, but they're important conversations. Don't do it because it's fun. Do it because it's necessary. And as you are picking your time wisely, as you're putting away your phone for a second, making eye contact with your spouse, being generous to them, giving them your full attention, giving them grace if they've messed up, your conversations will start to morph to both people are satisfied. Both people are giving and receiving and understanding and walking away on the same page, and your marriage will definitely grow from it.
Absolutely. So we encourage you for these tips and all of our other tips, go to our website that is www.abeautifuladventuremarriage.com. There you can find this blog and all others, as well as a link to purchase the book See Through Marriage by Ryan and Selena Fredrickson. Fredericks. I said Fredrickson both times. It's Ryan and Selena Fredericks. Go to our website, check it out. We know that you'll be blessed by this blog and their book and their marriage ministry as well.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we hope you've enjoyed part 1. Part 2 is coming in 2 weeks. And if there's any communication tips that you have that have helped you, send us a message. Post it on our Instagram or our Facebook. We would love to hear it. Yeah. So, Pastor Man, would you like to pray us out?
Let's do it. Father, we love you, we praise you, and we thank you for this time together. Lord, help us to learn to talk to each other the way that you talk to us, Father. Soft and sweet. Lord, help us to communicate with each other on a level that we never have before, and to have detailed, intimate conversations both with our spouse and with you. We love you and we praise you in Jesus' name.